Hey there, McAllister here with Toasty DIY, and today we're going to take a look at one of Michael Reeves' videos because as an editor I like to try to see new things and try to find new styles, and I really like Michael Reeves. I've watched this video maybe once or twice, but I thought today maybe I'll take a look at it and go through and see if I can explain how he does some of his editing tricks or different things that he might do if you say wanted to edit like Michael Reeves. So let's take a look at the video and just kind of run through. This may be jumpy. I don't want to get any sort of copyright strike in this, so I'm going to play just clips of it. So this first clip, I'm going to keep the volume pretty low, just to keep from anything weird happening.
2:30 a.m.
The beginning's pretty standard.
Time to rise and grind. First thing I do is grab breakfast. Wish I had time to cook, but I'm
First thing to note, I'm pretty confident that's not the real sound of him biting that. There's just this weird bite to it. I bet you he found a sound effect of like biting into an apple. That just doesn't feel right. That sounds way too loud.
busy for that.
I like to get the day started with just a...
This is a pretty nice shot. You'll see this a lot. Let me show you how to do that shot. I'm gonna use this for our test one so I can show you. Take this section here. You take the opacity tool, map it out. Boom, now I have this. Scale that up. I take my footage of this. I'm gonna get it down to where it fits out of here, where it looks normal. And then I use Excalibur, but you'll just go to your effects panel and then apply it to crop. And then we're just gonna pull it in until it matches on the left side. That's gonna be good enough there, up there, and I'm pretty sure the top was a little over, So the thing that's interesting about that shot is he's got the backside, and this is what people forget, and likely all he did to get that effect was pull down the second copy of that beneath, go ahead and remove the crop effect, scale it back to full, or reset the motion, depending on how you did the last thing, and then in your effects panel, find Gaussian blur, and just blur that up. And boom, now we have that same sort of effect. So boom. Now this one's got a static thing down here. You don't want to get rid of that or find a different shot. Or you can go to your own phone, screenshot it, and do that. But that is how you do that first little effect. As for his counter, the way I would do it, you could try different things. You probably can find a like green screen online of a clock. For me, I use RGU, Red Giant Universe, and you could go into utilities here. Not utilities, where is it? It's gonna be yeah, and there's the progress effect, or let me use an adjustment layer. If you don't make an adjustment layer, fun fact, right down here, you can find all these different things. Notable things to find would be bars and tone. If you want to censor somebody, but you don't want to go find the sound effect, drag this right in. Comes with that sound, but I recommend cranking that down before you play it, or you'll blow your ears out. But down here you have adjustment layer, throw that in. Should usually match the sequence settings. So after you made your adjustment layer, you just go ahead and drag it in, and then I believe I have this under numbers from Red Giant Universe. It looks like this right here, and you can just apply the numbers effect. And then if it ever gives you this weird black screen that you're just like, oh, well now I can't see my main product, all you have to do is go through and change the blending mode. So click your layer, blend mode, do it normal, that'll work fine. And now I can take it and position over to the right. Now choose a preset, and let's say there's all these different ones, time 24 hours. Let's just go ahead and do time 24 hours. Style, you can change whatever you want. Find a font that you like for your clock. Change the wrong color, but you get the idea. You could then set this at whatever rate you wanted. You can go through here and do however you want to. Just get it to match the timing you want it to say. You could even just go through if you really wanted to and just type in 314 with the text tool so you don't have it. Just drag that over top. But I do believe, let's check, his blinks.
Nice casual jog. Just relax the body.
Oh,
Get your blood pumping. Get a good start
Yeah, that's pretty easy to do.
to the day.
But the real money is in the
just
stuff.
change the time, keeping the colon blinking. The colon blinking effect, real simply. Instead, make your colon here, match it the size, however you want to do it. So let's just say I want it to be huge. Set it there, and literally every once in a while, just set up a constant, however long it needs to be, like that. And you can do that. So let's move on to a different clip and see what we can do there.
Stock, options, futures, derivatives.
Okay, so you just added sound effects of this banging, and the pretty easy part to do here, this is a really easy effect. You just go through, take your subject, set at the top, and let's say we want to have him looking at, he's thinking and loading or whatever it is that we want. Just take it up here, opacity down, and maybe you want to make it more animated. So for whatever reason, you'll take it and scale it to about here, put it in the bottom left or wherever you want it to start. Go to the end of it, and a lot of times I'll cut off the end to make sure that it drags whole however you want to. But this effect's really easy, and all it takes is layering. If
Derivative futures, buy, come coin. Take all
this one's really easy. That Red Giant Universe plugin I was just showing you would be the most ideal way to do this. So apply number, once again, blending mode, normal, and then you could keyframe this to be 0, value here, go to the end, keyframe it to be higher, and you'll watch this, that would count up. Oop. Yeah, having a hard time loading it right now, I guess because I'm running OBS at the same time, but so that's an easy way to do that same count up transition he's doing right here. This is really easy. You have two options to get a black screen. You have one, insert your text graphic here, And boom, that one be done. Let's say you want to have something underneath of it for some reason. You can insert black video, it's just this right here, and it's just gonna take up spots. That way you don't accidentally like come back later in your footage and delete this portion. My usual solution to this is dropping this into the main roll spot so I know it's full of something, because things up here are graphics in my typical workflow to here. He does this, I believe, all just by drawing it out, and then like this could be, how does he get that fish to swim like that? Is he using, you know, some sort of animation program? Maybe. Another way you can get that fish to swim is let me get a transparent of a fish, and I'll show you that. Alright, I got me a little fish here. Let's say I want him to swim around. Let's give him a little ocean, why not? Won't make it any easier, we're saying, but it'll make it more fun. Alright, so we want our fish to move. The first thing I would animate is take these little keyframes, set them where I want them to start. Then I want to do rotation as well on this one, because you're going to want to swim. So let's say I'm going to start here, then I want him to go up here, then I want him to go a few more keyframes forward. Cool, so first step is this. So this looks very similar to what he had, but what are we missing? We're missing that ability for that fish to kind of turn, and I believe it's an effect called Simple 7 3D, Basic 3D. And now we can adjust these aspects of the fish. So maybe we want to make them like swim the whole time, like kind of wiggle. So I'm just going to do like -2, maybe -10. That's 100, that's too much. And then at the next keyframe, we're going to bring him to 10 over and over again to give the illusion that he's swimming. You can see him kind of wiggle, but you just need to go through and give him more direct. You can change tilt as well. You'll notice he does that. Distance, how far away he goes. You want to make it look swimming in and out. This just takes time and your own touch to make it look like it's going how you want it to go, but that's how I'd bet he did it. As far as the crosshair, I think he just drew in paint, cut it out, or found just simple crosshair, because you could easily find one. I think I did one recently, actually, now I think about it. When I look at my downloads, I might have it. I do have a crosshair, so let me just show you that. I'm just adding an opacity layer to it in order to balance it out so I can grab exactly what I'm looking for. So now I have my scope. I'm going to scale my scope down, and you purely just mark your keyframes you want, follow along, or maybe have it miss for a little bit and catch back up. And there we go. Now we have our little animation. So that one's done. Let's see. Going along. He does, I'm pretty sure he just did this all and then time ramped it, and then if he had any mistakes he just cut it or redid it, but he continued to animate his fish moving pretty cool. These, I don't know, unless he grabbed something and moved at the same time. I think too many things are moving for that to be. So I have a guess that he exported these two, the Tesla and Apple stock thing, and he animated them dropping in, like with the keyframes we've been using. As far as this tint, he either just toggled the layer on and off in Photoshop, or he actually did it. This shot, very cool. I would bet you he set it all up before, then what he did was paint over it in order to make it look kind of janky and cool, so he could set that scene inside of here, because this is good dimensions for it, here to here, for him to cut this right in. So the other option they did that might have been more intense is rotoscope himself, but I highly doubt he would do that. Just green screen. If you've never done a green screen before, you just need a wall that's one color. Green is what you'll typically see, or you might see blue screens. But you can theoretically cut anyone out of anything. If you wanted to try to remove things, you could use Chroma key. If you type in key into your effects panel, you get all your different options for keying something out. But Chroma or color key are typically you'll use. Pick a color you want to remove from the scene. The tolerance for that color will just crank it a little bit. And now we'll see if I want to put him on a nice ocean. We're getting closer to it, but works way better when you have a correct background with no difference in color. The other option would be you could cut them out frame by frame, and boom, now ocean background. Same thing, you can adjust these, mark them as keyframes, and do layer by layer, moment by moment. That takes a long time. I'd recommend using After Effects and just roto brushing them if you're going to do that, but that would be the tactic for that. So green screen yourself out. How you do that little flashbang effect would be pretty easy. You could, I'm opening League of Legends now on accident.
Wall Street bets.
Very easy, Premiere Pro. We just go through, let's do a flashbang on this. Remove our mask, remove the water. So in your Lumetri color panel, I would just go over here, I'd touch one thing, I'd just go boop boop, and now the Lumetri color effect has been applied. Could also just, I believe, apply it straight out by just saying Lumetri, yep, in the video effects panel. Since I have that up, that's just quicker for me. You go to basic corrections, exposure, keyframe it here, surprised, flashbang, bang. You can adjust how fast it goes by moving the keyframes closer, and then there you go, it'd be a flash. If he reacted more, or as Michael did, he added in like the Saving Private Ryan, like ear ringing. He adds the 3-2-1 from Smash Brothers, so that one's pretty easy. You would just take either a PNG of that, or for him, he took video footage because the middle's still moving. I don't know how he did this graphic, whether he had something for it or not. You know, where he could very easily make a program that could draw this out for him and then record it, and then go back in and add his little stuff here. This is a pretty cool transition. He's gonna take that sentiment analysis. He just blocked it out. I think, let's see, did he apply a shadow to it? I can't quite tell. Weird little border, but he probably just did, let's take that same thing, snipping tool, a screenshot of the page you wanted, save as. So find the way you want it to sit. So let's say right there. Multiple ways you can do this. I'm gonna do kind of a different way. Crop. Cool. We'll copy the effects off this one. Copy a clip. You can like Control C, then you right click and go to paste attributes. I have a little keybind for it, but I've applied it to this clip, so that way I can go ahead and get analysis in. And now I'll purely cut. If I said sentiment analysis, then it'll pop up. It'll look like it grew. And then when I'm ready to reveal the whole thing, it'll pop in. It's kind of cool though. It was sentiment analysis. Boom. So do this little cutout where he brings himself in. Let's see, does he scale it up? No, he doesn't. He just does it normally. Sorry, this part kills me. He does this. You just apply a mask effect and crop yourself out, or whatever footage you want right there. And then he has it wipe left to right instead of right to left. That kind of kills me. It's funny. This right here, how he does a shot where it looks like it's from the side, from this angle, is pretty easy as well. It's just about knowing the effect that you want to use. So let's say I wanted to turn this, make it look like it was sideways. You're going to apply an effect called corner pin. This used to only be in After Effects, but now it's in both, so hooray. You'd apply it, come over here, click on corner pin, just apply your pins where you want it to be in order to get that corner look you want. And I have that same thing. So I think he just screen recorded and then did this. Simply just zoom that out from there. So take that corner pin effect and either scale it over time to get that look, or you could do all the pins and then adjust them every frame to make it match. But my guess is he did it all one frame, then just nested it all and then zoomed in. Something like this. You put it here. Let's say that's my computer screen. We'll get rid of these two. Yeah, so let's say we wanted to do this. We just nest these two, and then he could do show you this, and then when he's ready, make 2 keyframes for each one, and then purely just zoom it back out. And you'd have that similar effect, except you have a man sitting there. Which I think he made him blink, which is weird looking. This effect we technically haven't talked about, but we've gone over the basics of it. You opacity layer around the head, and then just place it wherever you want. He just grabs
Copy and labeled the data myself.
Alright, he's got an interesting effect right here. He's got it, and then he just, I think, applied like a glitch transition to it, but corner pinned it to run down into there. Had this thing shake, which you could do by adding a motion blur to a directional blur, and then just move it left and right. Directional blur is another one of our fun little directional blur. Have it move left, blur going. There, I like that blur. Then move it to the right. Yep, you saw a little shake. Copy that. Can I do it all the way across these? I've never tried this. The more you know. That shake effect we got. Something like that. That could be just as normal, or here's a fun note for those of you who just start out green screening. No, like this is the you look up explosion green screen, you'll recognize this clip from a bunch of videos. Most of them don't even bother really going through and getting all the details. If you're green screening and you think to yourself, man, this doesn't look like, you know, what I want it to be, some Michael Bay level nonsense. Most people don't actually key it out fully anyways. I don't. You'll see it in some of the videos where I've used it. You just key it good enough. It's going to be on screen for 3 seconds, get the joke, and move on. He does more animations. I mean, if you're wondering how to do this, I mean, I can think of ways to do it. I don't know how he does it to be more efficient, but you could take and make these 2 cog wheels, save them as PNGs, drag them into your thing, keyframe them for rotation, and set them to go ahead and rotate. And then you could have this sort of animation, once again with this thing jumping out and being weirdly tilted. That could be that basic 3D thing. He just has it overshoot and come back in order to give it more depth. Well, here's an effect that I'm not sure how he did. Well, I can't say I'm not sure how I would do it. And I don't know off the top of my head the way I think he did it. I'm confident I could recreate it, but it would probably take me 2 hours to figure out the basics of it. So if you have an idea how this effect is done, I'd love to know. But scrolls, while he's scrolling, this thing comes out and applies. I take it back. Possibly he did a shape. Let's see if we can try to make this one. Actually, I'm kind of curious. So polygon tool, No, can I do a free select one? Okay, other attempt would be adjustment layer. Let's get rid of these keyframes. I want to. Alright, here we go. I've never done this effect before, kind of weird one, but you could then adjust down. Yep, there we go. So that would be one way to do it. You create a mask layer, so backing up. This was an effect that I had no clue how I did it. The way I've come to recreate it, creating an adjustment layer. From there, you make an opacity layer, select your boundaries to make a triangle from where you want it to start to where it's going to hit, and then you're going to just the first frame and the last frame, and it's going to slowly, since the keyframes are going to do it, it's going to do it for you. So you see now it scans down. I would have selected a better starting point for this one, but that'd be a fully functional way of recreating that effect. So that's cool. I had never thought of that one, but that'll be in my tool belt now. So looks like he runs it back and forth a couple times to give it some more oomph to it. Same thing, you can just literally select an opacity layer and tint it, or color correct it, however you want to do it. Okay, the last one would be credits. I'm pretty confident there's just a credit effect in Premiere under the Essential Graphics panel. Browse. Boom. Yeah, you can just find that. So that being said, that is all the effects that I spotted in Michael Reeves' videos. At that point, if you want to edit like him, you just gotta take a lot of footage and have a lot of time. You're willing to, come up with these, because he has an effect happening maybe every 45 seconds or so. And when he does them, he'll often do them in just big ADHD spurts. And I would guess, I know it took him for the coding, like a year to make that video, but I mean, if you were to recreate just the edits going here, I mean, for me, it'd be about a 4 or 5 day project to try to just recreate them. Now to come up with them and do them again, I mean, you're probably looking at maybe a month if you really want to be as in depth. And I may have missed some of them because they're so sly, and he does a lot of sound design and all that, but pretty cool. So I hope that helped you. If you have any questions, even below, especially if you have a YouTuber that you like their style and you want to be able to recreate that or emulate that, but you're not sure how they do it, I'd love to learn, and so just let me know. Thank you. Peace.